Yo, Ray.
What's up?
Hey, we in here, man. Look, another week, another day, another Friday. ChronoNexus episode 4. Let's get straight to it. So, emulation and pirating. So talk to me. You know more about that than I do. What's going on with that?
For some reason, like this is just like one of the many full circle gaming moments because this is like it was all over Twitter this week. Pretty much like the last 2 weeks. Like you got people to me, look, first of all, like I don't see anything wrong with like emulation or pirating. Like you got some people that do. Like you got some people of the moral high ground that are like they support emulation but not piracy, which is silly because you still don't own the game nor the system if you emulate.
Mm,
And furthermore, like why the fuck do people care so much? Like why the fuck do you care what other people do? Like the shit just been everywhere this week. And so one of the main people that was just like arguing about it, they brought up the point, they was like, oh well, it's acceptable if they're in like poor countries. And I'm like, what about the poor people like in our own country?
right.
Like, why they gotta be in like a poor destitute? Like, poor is poor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
I don't know. And so then they're like, everybody talks about Nintendo, and they're like, oh, Nintendo, no, not Nintendo. Pokemon lost like $1 billion or whatever. And I'm like, but they ain't gonna take a billion that they already got and like make their games look better. Like
exactly.
like what the fuck they was gonna do with that $1 billion? And so you had the UK just published a study that was basically saying that like people who pirate buy more than most people do.
Mm,
Like the study found, of course, which is what like everybody says, like the study found the top reason for pirating or emulation is because the content they're looking for wasn't legally available. So, like the eShop just closed for like what, 3DS
yeah.
and Wii U.
Mm,
All them games gone. Like
gone.
unless, you can't ever play those games again. Unless one, you was like dude that spent $23,000 and bought
Mm,
every last game, or you fucking emulated. Like that's it. Like emulation is what revives these long forgotten games. Like you had people, Legend of the Dragon, for instance, just because that's like the one on top of my head. You had people
mm,
that was begging for it. Okay, not everybody that played that has a PlayStation right now.
right.
Okay, they got an Xbox or they got a PC or whatever they got. They can't play that. They can't play Legend of the Dragon. Like the only way they can play it is if they emulate it or if they still have PlayStation or PS2. And then I mean even I emulate stuff because I'm lazy. Like I
Mm,
don't want to go get the fucking PlayStation and then have to get the little adapter thing for like all the little the red, yellow cables, all that damn shit. Like,
mm-hmm.
play that shit on your phone, whatever. You got you got games, okay. A sealed copy of like the original Final Fantasy. That shit is $204,000 is what that shit sold for.
You said 1,000?
Yes, thousand. Two hundred
Damn.
and 204,000. It was the only one. So there are like pretty much no more sealed copies for sale. Okay. And so now if you look it up, you see a copy that's like 54 books right
Uh,
now. This only comes with like the game. So then it goes, because you can also get like these old NES games or like even PlayStation games,
mm,
but they're knockoffs. And so it's like you don't even know if you're actually buying like an original copy anymore unless it's sealed. And like who the fuck finna pay a house for a sealed NES game? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
I don't know. Like you still taking a chance. You got people that's like, you don't deserve to, if you can't afford it, you don't deserve to play it. And I'm just like, to me, that's like ridiculous because I'm not finna spend 200K on like a sealed game. Like that's fucking ridiculous. You got sealed copies of like Twisted Metal that's going for like 100,000 for sealed copies. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're like completely ridiculous. And so like I don't know, like there was a game, um it's a PC game. It was called the Summer of '58. Because like people
Hmm.
always were saying like pirating or emulation, like it tanks studios, it tanks like indie studios. So Summer of '58, it was an indie horror game. And so that studio tanked. It didn't tank from people like pirating it. It tanked
Hmm.
because people bought it, beat it, and then refunded it off Steam. So like the
So it was that
developer,
short?
yeah, it was that short. It was that short.
Damn.
And so the developers were like crying. They was like please stop, please stop. Everybody refunded the game. They played it, refunded it. Like they had at the end of Summer '58, there was like a like a part two or whatever. And so like they totally canceled it. Like they stopped. Like they shut their doors or whatever. Nothing to do with pirating. It's because you can just like you can fucking return the fucking game. Like
That's kind of their fault though, bro. You got to make the game 2 hours and 2 minutes or something, bro. Like, come on.
I
Like,
mean
know the
they
rules, dog.
or they had to have been like speed running through that game. Well, no, I ain't gonna take that bet. I'll take that bet. The game was pretty short. It was short,
Mm.
but to me, I mean, it wasn't like the game was $20. The game's like $8.99 or some shit.
Hmm.
Like the game cheap as fuck. So like I don't know, man. Like for me, pirating, especially if it's like a horror game, because there are so many like walking simulators. Like I use it for like a demo kind of. I need to make sure there's some combat into this shit
But are
because
you talking about actually pirating the game, or are you talking about just buying the game on Steam and refunding it?
nah, to me, I'm talking about straight up like pirate, like to just
Okay.
like go pirate it. Like I'm gonna need to see that it's like some combat in here or
Hmm.
else then I'll go buy it. Or like it's several games, like several JRPGs and shit, like they're out on everything. But
Hmm.
like a lot of these like no name ones, I ain't gonna say no name, but like I've never heard of it. Like I don't know like the developers, like I'm not familiar with the developers or anything like that. And so I need to like play it for a little bit and then I'll go and I'll buy it on like PlayStation just because I don't like playing on PC in the first place.
Hmm.
So it's not like I'm gonna just like sit down and play the game. Like I don't know, and then I just like playing old ass fucking games sometimes, like the old ass like Fantasy Star. Like
Hmm.
I'm not. I don't even know if I can hook up NES to like a fucking 4K TV. I'm pretty sure somewhere there's some sort of like cables, but I don't know. Like, but I have like several emulators on my phone, and I can just like pull that shit up
Hmm.
and like play that shit. I don't know.
See, emulation. I don't think emulation is really a bad thing. I think that pirating in it is more frowned upon. Like for me, when I emulate, I mostly emulate games that are stuck in the time vortex or games that are licensed. Like you're never gonna be able to play Spawn on Super Nintendo like ever again. One, because it's a licensed game, and two, because it's a super rare game. Or like X-Men versus Street Fighter. You can't buy that game anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Marvel versus Capcom 2. That game is stuck on the PS3. If you didn't buy it when it came to PS3, that game is stuck on Dreamcast. You can't play it anymore. Or like X-Men Arcade. That's a really good example. X-Men Arcade. That game never saw a home release ever. until they put it on the PlayStation Store on PS3 for a little bit while they had the license, and then Konami lost the license to X-Men, and you can't buy it anymore on the PS3 store. So if you did not get X-Men Arcade when it was on PS3, you will never ever be able to play that game again. Unless you're lucky to live in a place that still has arcades with all the arcade machines, like I do. So for me, I think that when you emulating games that are stuck in time or games that are licensed that you know that you just can't buy anywhere, I don't mind it. Or just old games in general, like some anything basically pre I say PS4, I really don't care about. The only problem I have when it comes to piracy is somebody pirating some new shit. Like I see people already pirating like The Last of Us One. Like, bro, you know what that game is, bro. You have no reason to pirate that game. You can go to the store and find that game for $20 somewhere. You know you're wrong. That game's on PS Plus anywhere you want to play it. So for you to pirate that, all right, you just being lazy or you just truly just don't give a fuck. Like pirating new games, I look at that a little bit different. Like, all right, you kind of dirty for that. But pirating anything that's classic or just lost in time, I don't see why that's such a big deal, especially when the publishers or the devs won't do their due diligence to make it available for people to play.
Nah, that or just like give us fucking demos again. Like I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have to like pirate a game first to see if I want to play that shit. Like there have been several games and people are just like, oh, watch a let's play. Like I have so many games that I'm never gonna play because I don't watch a fucking let's play. And that shit looks so fun. And then the shit I just didn't like it. Not saying the game was garbage. I just didn't fucking like it. And so like I gotta play that shit. I gotta play that shit first. And then I'ma buy it. And I'm fucking buy that shit on PlayStation. Like so everything don't come to Game Pass. Like a lot
Yeah,
of these JRPGs are not on fucking Game Pass.
I give Nintendo credit for that's one I always bomb on the Switch. But that one thing I get the Switch credit for is they have a demo for fucking everything on the goddamn Switch. Like everything has a demo on the Switch.
Yeah, I play a ton of demos and I'm glad that they got them hoes because it is so many games that I pass on
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like this shit is garbage. Like the
Mm-hmm.
premise the premise sounds good, like the trailers look nice, the pictures are all pretty and then the gameplay is it ain't for me. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying that like the shit don't be for me. Goddamn. Like I don't know, man. Like I mean, I feel that shit too as far as just like I don't know, pirating like say Forspoken. Forspoken to some shit like that. Like that shit
Right.
on sale. It's on sale right now.
Yeah,
Like you ain't
anything
got
new, anything super recent, like, all right, bro, like, all right, you don't have to pirate a brand new game, but anything from the past is fair game, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. Like I don't see nothing wrong with it. Like as far and then I'm just like that shit really ain't none of my business. For real, even if you do want to go out and pirate some shit that came out 2 hours ago, like if they done already cracked, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, to me, is it ain't my job to
Mm,
like police that shit, and people are dead ass be like policing folks on that shit. They'll be like, they're emulating shit. Like I seen somebody on my timeline. He was emulating Legend of the Dragoon, and they was just absolutely like trying to drag that man, like he got a fucking Xbox. How the fuck else is he gonna play that shit? So they were calling him a fake gamer and all type of shit. I'm like, well, y'all need to chill. Like y'all really need to fucking chill on that shit. I don't know. Personally, I don't see nothing wrong with
hey, to each his own.
it.
But
Right.
while we on the subject of Nintendo, I was going to bomb on Nintendo today. I'm honestly exhausted. I'm tired of talking about Nintendo, man. Like,
I've been seeing your tweets about.
I'm tired of talking about Nintendo. I'm so tired of talking about them because it's the same shit with Nintendo. Every other month, it's the same shit. Every time they announce a new game, I just think I'm not gonna say they creatively bankrupt, but Nintendo is just nickel and diming people. Like they really charging $70 for the Legend of Zelda with a Lego mechanic. Like you charging $70 for the same game that launched with the system, but now you can combine weapons. Is that really worth $70? And then the thing about it is not even the fact that they charging you for a DLC, $70 for a DLC. It's the fact that you can't say nothing about it, or the Nintendo fans lose their fucking mind, and I don't understand it. I don't know why Nintendo has a chokehold on these people. I don't know why these people defend Nintendo never putting their games on sale. I said it before in a previous pod. I want to play Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. The game is still full price, and it came out on the Wii U back in like 20. What was it? For like 20. When did I move to Texas? 2015. The game came out like 2013, and in 2023, the game is still full price. And Nintendo never gets criticized about this. They never bring this up in the reviews, although they deduct points from The Last of Us because it's $70 and they feel like it shouldn't be that high because it came out a decade ago. But you allow Nintendo to get away with all of this shit. So honestly, I'm not even. I don't have the energy to keep talking about Nintendo. If you are buying Legend of Zelda, the new one, look, do you? But just know you are the reason why they don't have a new system. You are the reason why they keep making games on cell phone hardware. You are the reason why mobile gaming is the way it is. If you support, and I know this game is going to do 20 million. Every Nintendo game does 20 million. They put out a terrible Pokemon game that didn't even fucking barely halfway work, and the game still broke sales records. They put out a Mario game where the new mechanic, the big new thing about the game, was that you can use his fucking hat. So Nintendo has a history of doing this. So I'm not gonna keep talking about these niggas. Look, if you support the game, go play it. I don't give a fuck. But I'm gonna continue to look y'all in the face and explain to y'all that y'all are the reason why they are still peddling this mobile game hardware.
I don't know. I think Nintendo would be like if Square Enix had like a console or some shit, because it's just like Nintendo has a lot of people's childhoods
Mm-hmm.
like wrapped up, and so it's like a lot of people's first game may have been like a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Legend of Zelda didn't click with me. It was one of the first games I ever played. My mom had one. She had an NES. I'm not a Legend of Zelda fan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me personally, I can't like dunk on like somebody's excitement because it's like a lot of people are like excited for Tears of the Kingdom. And I feel like maybe if I was a fan, I would be like excited, kind of like how Final Fantasy fans are just like you can't say shit about somebody's favorite Final Fantasy game. Like they gonna be ready to fucking throw hands at you. Like I made a fucking Final Fantasy 7 tweet and boy them folks was like they some people they was just on my ass about that shit. Because that is like it's their favorite fucking game. It's their favorite game. And it's just like Nintendo is like that with everybody. They got Pokemon, one of the most like famous franchises that's out
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay, you got Mario, which is a lot of people's first games. Also, famous fucking franchise, Legend of Zelda, Metroid Prime. Like you got all these like games that's been out since like the 80s. So you got generations of gamers, and I just think it's like I don't know, it's like a nostalgia thing. Cause I don't know, that's the only thing for me that I can see because Tears of the Kingdom, like I didn't. Did you play Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, I had Breath of the Wild.
I never finished it. Like it didn't click with me. Like so, but I was watching Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it looked interesting. Like some of the shit, you know what I'm saying? It looked interesting or whatever. I feel like maybe if I was a fan, I would be interested in it. Like I'm just not like a Legend of Zelda fan like that. You know what I'm saying? But the price point to me was like ridiculous. Like they want to charge like PS5 prices for this shit. Like that was what I was just like I don't know about. You know what I'm
But
saying?
this is the
That price
problem.
point.
Legend of Zelda looks interesting in the way that NBA 2K looks interesting every year. Oh, damn, they added a new park to 2K. They updated the rosters. Oh, okay. They touched up the graphics a little bit. They put some new facial hair on LeBron. Okay. And then you get it and you like, yo, I played this shit last year, yo. It's cool. It's the new shit, so everybody gonna fuck with it, but I played this already. Why are they charging $40 for Metroid Prime when the game was a GameCube game? Why are they charging $40 for that? It's not a remake. They didn't add anything to the game. Okay, they touched up the fidelity and they smoothed out some of the edges. Why are they charging $40 for that? And they allowed to do that and nobody is saying nothing. Why do they keep making the same fucking Pokemon game and putting out two versions of it with minor differences and it still don't got no voice acting?
It should be
Why is there no
$120.
voices? Why?
$120 for both of them though.
And
That is
why is there no voices? Why the only niggas you get to listen to talk throughout the whole game is Pikachu? And people is
why
paying for this.
are the original, because to me what I are the original Pokemon in there. And so what they do, because a lot of older people do that shit, they're like, is my favorite Pokemon in there. So they split that original 150 between both versions because they like you gonna have to buy both versions if
Oh,
you want your favorite Pokemon. Like they I don't know, man. Like
can you
Nintendo.
imagine? Listen, can you just imagine if Capcom? Just imagine if Capcom came out with Street Fighter 6 and they made Street Fighter 6 Championship Edition and Street Fighter 6 Hyper Fighting Edition. In Street Fighter 6 Championship Edition, you get Ryu, you get Chun-Li, and then you get a cast of new characters. But then in the other edition, you get Ken and you get Sean, who everybody's been begging to come back. And and then you get more new characters. Can you imagine the outrage if they split the fucking cast that people love so much into two different games and forced you to buy both of them if you wanted to play with all of the characters you grew up loving? Why did they not get criticized for that? I don't understand.
I don't understand either. Like I don't know Nintendo. Like I said, I look at Nintendo and I'm like, that is it's the Square Enix of consoles because like people they ready to throw hands like every day. Like somebody was literally making a they basically made the same points that you making right now, and like he was getting like ripped alive under their posts. Like oh my god, they was just laying into him. But then you had somebody else. Now people is criticizing. They are criticizing that shit because I had somebody else on my timeline. He was like excited for it, and they was just like, bruh. They was like, this shit looks ass, and so I don't know, man. Like Nintendo and like this Tears of the Kingdom game, it's like it's got the timeline split right now, but it's probably gonna be in Game of the Year. The one of the choices for this shit. Like
Listen, we'll revisit this topic when they announce the next Pokemon game coming out this winter, and when they announce Metroid Prime 2 remaster and they charge $40 for it again. Because we're gonna revisit this. Because let's keep it. They're not coming out with another system this year. They're not doing it. Y'all are gonna be playing on this tablet for the rest of the year. So y'all might as well get used to it. And listen, anybody that if you happy for Tears of the Kingdom, look, Ray may feel different. That's on her. Look, if you happy for that game, fuck your happiness. And you are the problem. You are the problem. Fuck your happiness. You are the problem. You are the problem. And I'm not talking about Nintendo no more until the next time they do some dumb shit. We're gonna wait. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy y'all game. That's gonna get 10 out of 10. It's gonna get Metacritic must play. It's gonna get all the accolades. It's gonna be nominated for Game of the Year. And then when 2024 rolls around and we get in the PS5 Pro and we get in the Xbox Series Y and you still playing on this fucking Android tablet, go fuck yourself. And that's all I have to say about that. Moving along. Moving along. E3 got canceled. We all seen this coming. Everybody got their own showcase now. It's a new day. It's been a new day since the pandemic started 3 years ago. when everybody had their own showcase and the new systems was coming out. And then you even started seeing developers with their own showcase. You started seeing Ubisoft. You started seeing
Right.
the Capcom ID showcase. Square has their little showcase. Even the indie developers have their own showcase. So this is something that everybody pretty much seeing coming. I don't know where E3 goes from here. Your thoughts?
I mean, this shit, I don't know. Like, E3, that's like the end of like an era. Like, I always wanted to go
Mm-hmm.
to like E3. But I mean, it's been like you said, it's been done. Like, instead of waiting for just like once a year, we can now get like several like state of plays or like
Yeah.
Nintendo Directs or shit like that. And apparently, like E3 was just like super expensive for developers, and
Yeah.
so like if you was an indie developer, like you pretty much you couldn't go. So it was pretty much only for like AAA, companies,
Mm-hmm.
anyways. And so I mean, I don't know. It's the me personally, I like the state of plays and shit better, just because you pretty much know what you're gonna get. Like, I would hate to like go out to like some E3 shit once a year and then it just be like garbage. Everybody, like your favorite developer, don't be there or some shit, and you done paid all that money versus you can just fucking pull up YouTube
Mm-hmm.
because they're like we're going live or whatever. Like, you ain't gotta wait for like a PlayStation magazine or like some Game Informer type shit anymore. So I mean, it's pretty much the future. You know, it
Listen, rest in peace to E3. I blame Jeff Keighley. You were saying?
I mean, it for like older gamers, it was like some shit to look forward to, but I mean, it isn't like some shit that was like, I don't know, like life impacting.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody on Twitter is just acting like it's impacting their life right now. But I guess because it's like the newest like thing, but I don't know, man. Like, we all like show up for the game show awards and like the fucking summer game fest and the
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo game show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we all prefer that to E3. So
Rest in peace to E3, man. It's been a long journey. I remember being super, super, super excited for E3 every year as a kid. You get to see the new games debut, and you get demos, and you get to see your favorite YouTubers play new games and talk about it. You get hyped up when the game came out. Look, it was definitely the best of an era. It was a great thing when we were young to watch. Um, I kind of figured it would be over when the Summer Games Fest took off because, like, between Summer Games Fest, Tokyo Game Show, and all of the other developer showcases that we have, it's like what the fuck was they going to show? Like, I
right.
mean, like Microsoft has their showcase in June. They're doing Starfield. Plus, they said they're doing 90 minutes of new Xbox games. Obviously, we getting a state of play soon because Spider Man is coming out at the end of the year. We know that. We know Final Fantasy is coming out. Um, so, like, what are they going to talk about? What were they even going to talk about? I mean, I have no clue what they would even showcase this year. So, rest in peace to E3, man. And hey, hopefully they find a new way to use the trademark because I would hate to be stuck with that trademark and not have absolutely nothing to do with it. I think they should probably just do like a Jeff Keighley something. Well, why don't they rebrand and make it like for indie developers? Make
Yeah.
E3 for indie developers and have YouTubers come up there and host it or something like that. There's a lot of different things they could do with it, but we'll see what they do with it in the future, man. PSVR2 underperforming. So according to the speculation, we have 32 million PS5 sold, and up until now, which has only been a month or a little over a month. No, it came out February.
It's
Yeah, so it's been a
yeah.
month. So it's been a month. 270,000 PSVR twos sold for launch. They were predicting 2 million within the launch quarter of quarter one, which is quarter
March
one,
31st.
March 31st is the end of
Yep.
quarter one.
Or yeah,
Okay,
by the end of March.
so they predicted 2 million. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So, what you think about that?
That was crazy. When I had looked that up for like the Bloomberg thing, and I was just like, I had to keep looking. I was like 270,000. I'm like, I'm missing a zero.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like low as hell to me at least. Like me personally, I think it's like the price point
Mm-hmm.
because it's 549.99 and you need a PS5 and it's only like 42 games. I mean, yeah, it looks way better than the first one. Like we have the first one, but we don't play it. And the kids wanted, like, I swear to God, kids being so ungrateful, but the kids wanted the fucking Quest because this is my personal thing. Sony Sony didn't market those VR games for kids. They're all like pretty much
Mm-hmm.
adult games basically. And so you got all those Quest games went viral on TikTok like Gorilla Tag and shit. And so like
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing they want to play or whatever. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of adults but all the adults they play the shit too. Like the streamers and shit, like they're playing like the fucking Gorilla Tag and shit too. Like the only VR game that pretty much interested me was fucking Saints and Sinners or whatever. Like I mean, you had Skyrim and Fallout, and then I kind of wanted to play The Village and
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 7. But
Mm-hmm.
like the other games, I just wasn't fucking interested in. Like I don't know.
They dropped the ball on a lot of stuff with VR too. In my opinion, obviously you got to talk about the price point. Everybody knows that price point was nasty from the start. Yes, the technology is way better, and then you're using the PS5, so everything is gonna obviously be faster with the SSD and everything. But paying more than the system for a VR headset, you can't justify that by saying the technology is better because VR is not. I don't want to necessarily call it niche, but it's not a major thing. Like when you
Uh-uh.
look back at it, you look at it was about over 100 million PS4s, and the PSVR didn't even make up like it wasn't even like 2% of the people that own a PS4. So it's never been big enough to me to justify the price. And then when you look at the library, I know it's over 40 games, but in my opinion, that shit is inflated because most of the games, like I see people playing Beat Saber. How long are you gonna play Beat Saber? Let's be real. You're gonna play Beat Saber for 20 minutes. You're gonna be done with it. You're never gonna touch it again. Like, and that's most of the games for VR. The thing that kept me from getting the VR is because to me they need a bona fide, real, serious, long experience. And when I say long, long for VR to me is anything over 2 hours. So they need an experience with a real campaign that people can really invest themselves into. And for me, that game was Iron Man VR. By the time Iron Man VR came out, it came out fucking 4 months before the PS5 came out. So I wasn't about to buy a fucking VR for PS4 just to play Iron Man, knowing that I'm about to switch. I'm going to upgrade my system in a couple months. And then Iron Man VR is not even backwards compatible with PSVR 2. I don't understand why Iron Man VR, the biggest game, arguably the biggest game and the biggest IP that Sony has for their VR, and it's not backwards compatible on PSVR 2 at launch. For me, that was an absolute no go. Absolute no go. If Iron Man VR was backwards compatible, I would buy a PSVR 2 because I really want to play this game. I wanted to play ever since I seen it because I'm a comic book guy, but it's not even backwards compatible. But at the same time, you have shit like that fucking goofy looking Star Wars game is backwards compatible. You got that what's that show? The Walking Dead game is backwards
Yep.
compatible. Like, why are all these bogus ass games backwards compatible? But the biggest game you release, they even had a PSVR bundle with Iron Man,
Yeah.
and it's not backwards compatible. To me, that doesn't make any sense, and that is just a one in a series of missteps that they made with this PSVR 2. Now, eventually, I'm gonna get one. Maybe a year down the road, maybe 2 years down the road. Whenever they announce Iron Man is backwards compatible, or they come out with something that I care about for it, I will play it. But how long you think I'm gonna play fucking Lamar Jackson's NFL quarterback on PSVR? I'm gonna play it for 20 minutes. I'm never gonna touch it again. That fucking kayak game that people talk, oh my god, you can play this game online with your friend. How long am I gonna kayak in my living room before I get bored of this shit and want to play something else?
The kids, even the kids, don't play it for. We actually have the Iron Man game. We got the Iron Man game. We got the Spider Man one.
Damn.
Like, I bought all of them. I spent like $150, and like they had a VR set. Pretty much bought the entire library for like the little VR games. The kids do not play them shit. They want to play fucking Gorilla Tag. Like, somewhere along the line, Sony like they fucked up with that shit. Like, there are not enough, I guess, like content creators that are just like interested in PlayStation VR, because they're just there. I feel if they marketed more like toward the kids, they would have gotten more units. So,
Yeah, like
like,
where's Minecraft? Where's Minecraft VR?
exactly,
Now that's on
exactly.
Microsoft. I'm not gonna blame Sony for that. That's on Microsoft. But where's Minecraft VR? Why does Resident Evil 4 not have VR at launch? Like, I don't. It's so much stuff they could do with this. Why have Sony owns a portion of Epic? You know, I forgot it's a small percentage, like 5% or something like that. But where's Fortnite in
That's
VR?
what oh my god, Fortnite VR, like it would have had to been bought. Fucking the way my kid is Resident Evil 4, that shit would have had been bought.
Why is it not
Like,
ready at launch? That's a PlayStation exclusive feature that's coming to Resident Evil 4. They should have had this shit ready to go. I just don't understand why they didn't have the library to go. Why they didn't negotiate getting Half-Life Alyx for launch. That would have been a big launch title that would have sold units.
yeah,
Where
that would have
is it?
been huge. And I feel like they should make like the fighting games VR. Like, a lot of people wanted, like, there was this video, it was false or whatever, but they were saying that this was actually the reason why we bought the VR for the PS4. They were sitting there saying that they was playing Tekken. They
Mm-hmm.
was like, Tekken. It was like, oh, we have a VR mode. Tekken fucking lied. It's like this bullshit ass exhibition mode, and you have to use like the controller or whatever.
Oh
You're
my
not like
god.
actually, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my husband, he loved Tekken. That's his favorite fighting game. We fucking bought that shit. He mad as fuck. Like, ain't played that shit since. And like I feel like they got fucking ridiculous shit. Like, they got fucking Gran Turismo. Like, you go fucking drive a car in real life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it might not be a race
Hold
car,
up,
but
man. I'm on my PS5 right now. Okay. So they have Horizon Call of the Mountain.
right,
Okay, Horizon is a kind of polarizing franchise, although it is a franchise that does sell pretty well. It's polarizing. Either people love Horizon or they don't give a fuck about Horizon. Gran Turismo 7, that's a good game to have VR for at launch, but the game has been out for a long time. So everybody who bought the game, they have the game already. So it's not like people are gonna go out and buy a VR for Gran Turismo. They're gonna go out and get a VR to have it, and plus on top of them having the VR, they already have Gran Turismo. So it's a
right.
difference. Resident Evil Village, that game is about 2 years old. Pavlov, generic first person shooter. Star Wars, ain't nobody playing that. Kayak, stop it. No Man's Sky, that game has been out for about 5 years now. Job Simulator, stop it. Tetris, stop. Vacation Simulator, cut it the fuck out. Synth Riders, another generic rhythm game. Drums Rock, I mean, come on, man. Nobody's playing this shit. It seemed to basically PSVR 2, or even just VR in a whole for PlayStation, is something that they have so that they are ahead of their competition in terms of technology and being able to, have that market cornered in case it really does take off to the point that they expect it to be a big success. But in having VR right now at this point, you can just tell that they're not putting a lot of effort into the library and providing, new, unique, next gen VR experiences. They just have VR to say that they have VR,
Right,
and that's
because
basically the
everybody
gist
ain't
of
got
it.
this shit. Like, I don't know. I feel, I mean, they can sit there, they can dangle it over like Xbox's head, but I mean, personally, I would rather have the entire fucking library of games than fucking VR headset. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That would justify the price that Sony is charging us for, like, what is it, premium now or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, that would justify that. But we
Just think
ain't gonna
about the
never get
fact.
that.
I'm about to. How much did it cost? I need to see how much it cost them to make this. How much did it cost Sony to make PSVR 2? Let's see, because this is something that we need to know. So PSVR 2. Uh, I can't find it, so I'm not going to waste the viewers' time. But let's just say that they spent. Let's say they spent $250,000 to make the PSVR 2. I'm positive that it's probably more, but let's say they invested a total of a quarter, not even a quarter. I'm not even saying it right. $250 million into this PSVR 2 to get it out, get it manufactured, get the library together. Just think about all of the games they could have revived with $250 million. And that's all I'm gonna say. They could have put that money into Legend of Dragoon remake. They could have put that money into a new Resistance. They could have put that money into a new Killzone. They could have put that money into a new SOCOM. They could have put that money into an actual fucking Astrobot game instead of just a tech demo. So much stuff they could have did with that money. But instead they wanted to rush this out so nobody can buy the shit.
Right. People sitting there trying to buy eggs and shit. They ain't got fucking $549
Yeah,
for
man, what
to
the
play
fuck?
42 fucking games on. I
Oh my
mean,
god.
the people. I mean, it's a couple people on my timeline that got it and like they live it. Like, well, I'm gonna say one person lives it. The rest of them, I don't see them like play it anymore. Like, but one person still like faithfully plays it. Like everybody else, like they played it for like a week and then
I
like I
was
don't
just
see the
about to
pictures
say.
anymore.
I was just about to say everybody on my timeline, and I have some friends on my timeline that really like were into this shit. Like the first week, they played it every day. They tweeted about it nonstop, sharing clips nonstop, and then it's like the hype of Beat Saber wore off, and now you're back to reality. You're back to reality. You're not playing that. You're not, and you have to force yourself, and you have to put it into your head and put it on display for people on social media that you love this shit so much and you play it every day and you can't get enough of the experience and the screen, the fidelity of the screen and the sound and the controllers with the charger stand you got. You got to show us every 5 seconds because you paid more than you paid for your system for it and you have to justify that. It's mental with you guys. It's mental with y'all. We know you got to justify it because if you don't, it's just gonna be a $550 piece of hardware that's going to sit in your closet collecting dust until they actually decide to put some effort into it. So with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all VR. I'm not saying it's not an enjoyable experience. It looks very fun, but for how long? And where are the games? Why is there no Five Nights at Freddy VR or anything like that? Because I'm waiting for a horror game. In addition to a
Yeah.
good superhero game, I'm waiting for a good horror game. And don't tell me that Resident Evil is coming. I've already beaten Resident Evil 4. I'm going to play it again when they drop the DLC and the Ada expansion and the mercenaries and all that. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to have fun. By the time the VR comes off of this thing, I'm going to be done with the game. So again, y'all dropped the ball on having shit ready for this VR 2. And now you have to deal with the consequences because that warehouse is going to be full. It's going to be full. And there's nothing coming soon for that VR that's going to save themselves. With that being said, sticking on Sony, what the fuck is this Last of Us PC port? Is Joel black now? Is he a black man? Like I don't understand what I'm looking at when I'm looking at this shit.
That shit had, boy, I was like, at first, because I was just scrolling, I was like, is that a fucking mod? Like, I was like, why the fuck they got Joel in blackface like that? Like, what they doing? Like, they had, oh my god, it just looked like when a new patch for The Sims 4 comes out and all your mods done broke. Like, they walk around with
Yeah.
the question marks and shit. Like, I was like, yeah, now I know, like, those pictures specifically came from Steam decks,
Yep.
but developers have the option to say that it's compatible with Steam Deck. Obviously, it was not compatible with the fucking Steam Deck. They just wanted to capitalize off the show. Like, that's all that was. They wanted to rush that shit. They wanted to fucking capitalize off the show. Like, that shit was completely unacceptable. Like, the price point that they had, totally unacceptable. You got shit like Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 14, and Dungeons and Raids that you can play that don't fucking look like that.
Mm.
Like, there was no reason old as The Last of Us could not run on that damn Steam Deck. Even for the PC, everybody is like it crashes.
They
It's
say it takes an hour
unplayable.
to load the shaders or something like that before you even get to
Yeah,
the game,
40,
right?
45 minutes to 2 hours to
Sick.
install the pre shaders.
Sick.
Like, it's a chick on my timeline. She can play it, but she has like a beast of a PC,
Mm.
like a fucking beast. Like, pretty much everything that came out that has like been terrible, like Wild Hearts, fucking Hogwarts Legacy,
Mm.
all these games. Like, her PC can run that shit. Like, I think it can run Forspoken. Like, it can run everything. Shit that cannot run on like the regular person's PC.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The regular PC gamer, goddamn, because she got like top of the line shit and she can run it. Everybody else is like, they can't run that shit. It crashes. There was a patch, I think, today or something like that, a couple days ago. Still can't play it after
Oh
the
my god.
patch. Naughty Dog today, they tweeted, they was like, oh, we know that y'all experiencing a few bugs. They were dragging the fuck out of it on that shit, like a few bugs. Like, it's completely unplayable. It has one of the lowest scores for a PC port ever.
Mm.
Like, I was just scrolling through on Steam, and it was just everybody. Usually the bugs vary. It was everybody was it crashes. Does not it crashes. Every last one. I was just like, that shit right there is like completely fucking unacceptable. Like, lately though, it seems like everything that's come out on console has bombed for fucking PC. Everything has. Damn near.
I think it's time to be real about PC games. When it comes to PC games, I'm gonna specifically talk about Sony because they're the only people that I can really say this and it be a fact. I think we need to acknowledge that Sony does not want to put games on PC and they don't give a fuck about putting games on PC. Sony is all about their own ecosystem. They never wanted to put games on PC ever. They got suckered. I don't want to say sucker. They got pressured into porting these games to PC because people feel like, okay, well, Microsoft ports all of their games on PC. They got Xbox PC Game Pass. Sony's the only person that is not caring about PC gamers and is not coddling to PC gamers. So they need to put their games on PC. So Sony finally said, all right, fuck it. We're gonna give y'all some games on PC a year after they come out. And going forward, when we do our multiplayer games, they'll release day and date on PC. But we know they don't want to release games on PC. Everybody knows they don't want to release games on PC. That's why these games come out like this. This is the first game they released on PC that has a lot of issues. Sony just they look, don't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's all I can really say in regards to them on PC because I don't play new games on PC. My PC is strictly used for emulation for old ass games that I could probably run on my iPhone if I wanted to. Like, so that's what I use my PC for. Games I can't play no more. You know, like I said earlier, shit like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Spawn on Super Nintendo, Spider-Man and Venom, Maximum Carnage. You know, old ass shit that I can play anywhere really. But I choose to play them games on laptop because it's more comfortable. I can hook it up to the TV easy with the HDMI, stuff like that. So for me, I don't really have hard feelings about playing games on PC. But Sony, if y'all gonna make games for PC, please put 100% effort into these games and making sure that these games work properly. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna do nothing but sour these franchises, and you're gonna sour the customers more than y'all already have with a lot of decisions that y'all have been making recently. And again, this is not to me because personally, I don't give a fuck. I buy games on my PS5. I enjoy it. I don't care about all of the politics and all the other shit. But Sony, with this Xbox deal and just a lot of decisions that they've been making, they have been souring a lot of people. Sony needs to get it together because, listen, they may think that they in the lead. They've been number one every generation, excluding Nintendo. We don't include them when we talking about the best, the most systems and all that, because we know they do their own thing, they're in their own little world, and they're successful with what they do. But Sony has to get it together because people will change on you, and it only takes one generation for Xbox or whoever to gain the momentum, and you could be gone just like that. So do not think that y'all just gonna keep fucking up and Tencent or Apple or Amazon won't buy the fuck out of y'all, and then that hurts the whole industry. So all in all, Sony, y'all got to get it together, man. Like, just put some effort into this shit. Act like y'all care. Even if y'all don't care, act like y'all care. Don't put out statements 2 days later. As soon as you see the shit going on and you see the reviews tanking, look, y'all, we fucked up. We're gonna work our best to get it optimized. Hang in there with us. We're gonna take care of y'all. But the PR shit, I don't know if it's Jim Ryan or they have a specific person in PR that oversees all of this stuff, but just be better, man. And on that note, we going to end it on some lighthearted shit. My man, Gruesome Greg Miller, you know what I'm saying? He did his little PC rant. And basically what he said was, Last of Us 1 ain't working on PC. It's your fault. Go buy a fucking PlayStation 5. How do you feel about it?
I mean, for console exclusives, I kind of agree with what he said. Like his statement, it was like the his delivery. It was his delivery
It's
or
hilarious.
whatever. Like it was funny. It was funny. Like I mean, clearly you're not gonna sell your PC because you can't run one game. But I mean, for console exclusives, I feel eh, you should buy the console. Like
Yeah.
fucking that's what gets me with Xbox. Like I know Xbox's whole thing is they're like
Play
consumer
anywhere.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they want like this whole gaming ecosystem, but they would sell more units if their exclusive shit like
Mm.
was on. I mean, I know it's Microsoft, and Microsoft is like we make fucking PCs or whatever, but if they cared or whatever, then shit like Redfall and Starfield would only be on fucking Xbox. Like
Mm.
I don't know. Just to me, I feel like that's what makes a fucking console. Like his rant, like I said, I mean, it was true because they all the time PC always like ingest. They're like because everyone they complain sometimes. All right, let's take Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
Everybody complains about the graphics, the frame rate. If you put a picture from Switch versus like the Yuzu emulator or whatever for Switch on PC looks like two totally fucking different games.
Mm.
It is like mind blowing. So like you got PC that's always like if you want the games to look like anything, like buy a PC. But it's just like lately, I don't know, like these companies just haven't been giving a shit. Even Xbox, because Wild Hearts, I mean it was third party. You know what I'm saying? Wild Hearts
Mm.
was like what EA or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it ran like shit on PC. Xbox Legacy ran like shit on PC. Forspoken runs like shit on
Mm.
PC. Fucking the new Saints Row ran like
Mm-hmm.
shit on PC. Everything ran like shit on PC. FromSoft never fucking makes their games fucking PC friendly. They just like fucking throw that shit on there or whatever, and they're just like figure that shit out. Like I remember when Dark Souls 2 came out, like I went through hell just trying to get like the buttons to map to the fucking control. Like they did not give a shit. And so you just got a lot of companies, like you said, they don't give a fuck about PC. Like I like PC, like I said, PC, I like horror games. And pretty much if you're gonna play a horror game, you're gonna have to get a PC.
Yep, that's
Because
facts.
they like those indie games, like is pretty much that shit to me keeps PC gaming alive. Like they have the best creativity than all of these like AAA studios out here as far as horror goes. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
I'll
the
agree with that.
graphics are nowhere near your Resident Evil 4, but the atmosphere and shit is just so much fucking better. You got fucking grainy ass puppet combo made to look like some VHS fucking PS1 shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the atmosphere is like they're unmatched. You got several like Japanese developers or whatever. Like I don't know, like but as far as The Last of Us, I mean, looking at that port, you gonna have to buy a fucking a PlayStation because Sony ain't gonna fix that shit.
It's
Like
just like Square. It's just like Square.
yeah,
Like you were
Square
saying,
never gave a
like you were
fuck.
saying earlier, like with Square, when it comes to Xbox, Square almost always is gonna skip Xbox.
Yeah,
Why are they gonna skip Xbox? They're gonna skip Xbox because nobody buys the fucking games on Xbox. So they don't want to waste their time printing up copies and having to pay Xbox, a fee for digital sales when a game is only gonna do fucking 30,000 copies on Xbox, but it's gonna do 800,000 copies on PlayStation. So it's sort of the same thing. Where it's like The Last of Us is gonna do 10 million, 12 million on PlayStation. Realistically, what is it gonna do on PC? 50,000, 60,000, maybe 100 at the max. So they're not gonna. They have the game on PC so that they have the game on PC. It's not because they want it on PC. It's not because they care about getting the best experience on PC. It's because they are catering to PC gamers and they're trying to be somewhat competitive with Xbox. Not really competitive, but they also want to say, hey, look, our game is not locked to PlayStation. You can also play it on PC. You can also play it on Steam Deck. But the reality of it is, if you want to play any game that's exclusive, just get the console. Because when you buying exclusives on PC, you're not getting the best version. You may get the most frames per second. You may get better. You may get better textures, and you may get better fidelity once the game is patched after launch. But at the end of the day, you're not getting the best version of the game. You're getting a version of the game that they sloppily coded and just put on the PC and said, "Fuck it, we'll fix it later," because ain't that many people gonna buy it to hurt the bottom line anyway. So, like at the end of the day, it don't matter. And it's the same thing with Square skipping Xbox for fucking almost every release. But then when they do put a game on Xbox, like when they put Final Fantasy, I gotta look behind me, man. I forgot the Crisis Core. They put Crisis Core on Xbox Series X, and nobody bought it. So when you ask yourself, when people always say, "Well, fuck Square, they don't put their games on Xbox, they don't put their games on Game Pass," they don't want to waste their time. They rather their game flop than put it on Xbox and have it flop even further, being on multi-platform. Because if your game is on one platform, you have an excuse as to why your game didn't sell well. If your game is also on Xbox and PC, you just fucked up. You just fucked up, and it's your fault.
I don't know. It's to me like Square has always been like that because you had like back in the day like
They was
like
big
Final
on
Fantasy
Nintendo too.
7. Yeah, they you know cuz they originally came out on Nintendo and then Nintendo pissed them off and they was like they weren't gonna never work with them again, and it took them like for fucking ever before they started back working with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like they with PC, like with Square, because like Forspoken runs like absolute shit on
Mm-hmm.
PC. Like they were just like top of the line. PCs can barely fucking run that. But Square's always been like that for PC. Like you had like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 that were like terrible. The only thing that was like going for it was on PC. They had like turbo mode
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that. But the ports were always like horrible for PC as far back as fucking like PlayStation 1 games. So it's just, and you got Final Fantasy 16, which is gonna be a timed exclusive for like what, a year.
Six
Yoshi
six
P was
months.
shit. I thought, could have sworn Yoshi P said don't expect PC release for like a year.
Listen, we know that shit is not coming on PC no time soon. They said the same thing with fucking Final Fantasy 7 remake. That shit hit PC like 2 years later. The game will the fucking box of the game will say 6 months timed exclusive, but in reality, we know that it's not coming to PC no time soon. It'll
Nah,
come to
like
PC eventually, but yeah.
like fucking Spider Man just came out like what, last year? It was last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it had to
four
been the
years
end of
later.
last year. Like that shit is like ridiculous. Like I don't know, man. Like they really don't give a fuck about that shit. Like I don't know, man.
They don't, man. Look, PC gamers, you Oregon Trail playing bastards. Look, play y'all Vampire Survivors, play Oregon Trail. You know, play what's that dumbass game? Play Valorant and all that shit y'all be playing. Listen, leave the AAA experiences to the niggas with the AAA systems, okay? Your fucking 4080 is dropping to 10 frames a second while playing Forspoken, which isn't even a fucking high demanding game. Listen, stick to Oregon Trail. Stop crying on the internet. Stick to emulating your games. Stick to being a pirate, okay? Stop whining on the internet. Enjoy y'all shit. But listen, another one in the books, episode 4, ChronoNexus. Listen, I'm gonna let Ray take us out. I took us out last week. I'm cold as shit. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm gonna let Ray take us out.
Man, I'm sick as fuck right
Stop drinking all that fucking coffee. That's why your ass over that bitch going through withdrawals.
No, like man, we getting like sick again. Like I'm like
Oh my
so fucking
god.
loopy, man. Look, I don't know where the fuck this shit coming from. Like my throat is getting sore. Like
Oh my god.
as I fucking speak. Goddamn, but I mean, this week it was kind of sort of like last week. It was kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? As far as like gaming drama or whatever. But I mean, I feel like we still did good this week. You know what I'm saying? Like it was you with Nintendo. Like, and I guess like what you can add Xbox to that too though.
Wow,
As
who
far as
said something about Xbox?
it said, didn't you make a tweet about Xbox?
Who, me?
Yeah.
About what? Me getting kicked out of the ambassador program and going viral? Went viral for getting kicked out of the fucking ambassador program.
That
This
shit
is
was crazy.
this is what I get. This is what I go viral for. I don't understand. I post 100 fucking clips a day. I talk wild shit about Nintendo, but I get kicked out of the fucking ambassador program, and 100,000 niggas is on my shit talking about come to Team Blue. Yay! Now you could be a PlayStation content creator. Yay! Come to PlayStation. I'm like, bro, do y'all not understand that? Look, maybe y'all don't understand because when you go viral, you have a bunch of people who don't even know you or don't even necessarily look at your page, just commenting off of the post that they see. I do 90% of my fucking gaming is done on the PlayStation. Xbox has no games, okay? There, I said it. I can speak freely now. I'm not in the contract anymore, okay? There's nothing for me to play on Xbox. There's nothing for me to play. On PlayStation, I could play. I play Resident Evil 4 remake. I got the fucking adaptive triggers fighting me back when I run out of ammo. I could feel the water in my controller when I'm walking through the fucking ocean. I can feel everything. It feels great. I'm enjoying myself. On Xbox, they fucked up Halo. They ain't put out a new fucking Gears of War since Xbox One came out. What do y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to play Hi-Fi Rush? Is that what y'all want me to play? Y'all want me to play Hi-Fi Rush for more than 2? I played Hi-Fi Rush. I put 3 hours in it. I'm never gonna play it again. What do you like? What do y'all want me to do? What Xbox? What did y'all expect me to do? Y'all wanted me to keep. What did y'all? I don't understand. Y'all wanted me to keep the. Y'all didn't want me to tell the world that I was unsubbing from Game Pass because there's nothing to play. Is that really that much of a violation to you guys? Did y'all show the FTC my comment? Is that what happened? Like, what's going? I don't understand why y'all booted me from the ambassador. I was a good ambassador. I talked about y'all all the time. I talked about how good y'all were. I talked about how powerful the system was. I talked about how even though y'all fucked up Halo, I'm gonna continue to support y'all. I did everything in my power to not tell the truth. But I'm on my PlayStation 95% of the time because Xbox has no games. Okay, so everybody that's on my posts, retweeting and liking my posts, come to PlayStation. Go to PlayStation. My PS5 is on all day, every day. I'm always online. I've posted my game attack for y'all. I've not ever left the PS5. I just, I was working for Xbox. I was, you know what I'm saying? For nothing, but that's what it was. So this is what the internet chooses for me to go viral for. It's fucking stupid. Okay, I didn't think that it would go viral, and hey, it is what it is. I'm not an Xbox ambassador no more, so I don't have to hold my tongue anymore. Xbox, make some fucking games, okay? I'm excited for Redfall. Beyond that, y'all need to make some fucking games. But that's my rant. That's a topic for another week. All right, we gonna look. Thank y'all for tuning into the podcast. Ray is sick. We'll see if she'll be back next week. If not, I'm gonna have to get fucking I don't know who to fill in. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm sure y'all don't want to hear me rant about Xbox for an hour next week. So we'll see what goes on next week. It is Easter, so if I do want to come up with an excuse to not do a pod next week, I can do that, and y'all better shut up about it because it's a holiday.
I didn't even know it was Easter next week.
Next Sunday is Easter, so hey, next Friday it might not be no pod. We don't know. Make sure y'all follow Ray, Darkland_Ray on everything. Make sure y'all follow me, 299 Gaming on everything. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 4. Thank y'all for all of the followers of the podcast on Spotify. I didn't even know you could follow podcasts on Spotify, but I got a notification with a number of followers that we have on Spotify. So thank you for everybody who follows the podcast and waits for these episodes every Saturday. I did not upload episode 3 on YouTube last week because I was being lazy. Episode 3 and 4 will be out tomorrow on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. ChronoNexus. Thank y'all for tuning in.